The tranquil hum of the Galactic Shopping Center enveloped Maria Santos as the last flicker of light snuffed out, leaving her alone in the vast expanse of gleaming floors and echoing hallways. The air was thick with the combined aromas of alien cuisines. Spicy Zarkian noodles mingled with the sweet scent of Lillian fruit. She loved nights like this, her solitary ritual, a symphony of brooms, mops, and the soft thump of her cleaning cart rolling over the polished tiles. "Just me and the stars," she muttered, smiling at the twinkling lights of distant solar systems visible through the dome-shaped ceiling. At least, that was what she thought. Maria was no ordinary janitor. While most consider her job mundane, she saw it as her stage, a place where she could explore the hidden nuances of an intergalactic bazaar. However, tonight, an unusual energy pulsed through the building, sending a tickle of unease down her spine. It emanated from somewhere beyond the front of the store, a room she had cleaned around but never entered. Rumor had it that the door was locked for a reason, but Maria's curiosity danced on the edge of caution. "Just a quick peek," she whispered to herself, her heart racing with the thrill of potential discovery. The restricted area was not just a mystery, it was steeped in stories of strange occurrences shared among the early morning crew. Tales of flickering lights, whispers in alien tongues, and shadows moving independently of their sources. Maria had always dismissed them as exaggerations, fodder for bored employees trying to spook each other during their shifts. But tonight, as she moved her mop towards the room marked "Authorized Personnel Only," the pulse intensified, almost beckoning her forward. As she turned the corner, the room's door loomed large before her, the metal surface cold against her fingertips. She tried the handle, but it gave no ground. A flicker of frustration coursed through her. She had cleaned this place for years, and the locked door always felt like a taunt. Besides, it was her job to know every nook and cranny of this galaxy hub. "Come on, Maria. It's just a door," she encouraged herself. "What's the worst that could happen?" It was a question no one should ever ask, especially in a universe where so many beings believed in gods of chaos and creation. But her determination to unlock the room outweighed her sense of foreboding. She found herself reaching for her toolkit inside her cart, an odd collection of cleaning supplies, a multi-tool, and snacks from the food court that she never got to eat during her shifts. She glanced around, ensuring that she was entirely alone. The silence of the Galactic Shopping Center was deafening, punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping from the far end of the mall where a droid was dutifully preparing for the morning rush. With a swift motion, Maria retrieved a small screwdriver and knelt before the door, her heart pounding in erratic rhythm. Just as she was about to make her move, the pulse throbbed again, more insistently this time, as if it were a heartbeat urging her to act. "Okay, you asked for it," she whispered, and applied gentle pressure to the lock mechanism. A small click echoed in the hallway, sending a shiver through her spine. Nervously, she turned the handle. The door swung open, revealing a room cloaked in shadows and flickering lights that seemed to dance like spirits in a dream. As she stepped inside, the air changed. It was heavier, electric, and alive. Maria squinted, allowing her eyes to adjust. There, in the middle of the room, was a large, circular pedestal glowing with an otherworldly light. The source of the pulse. She could feel its energy thrumming through her body, drawing her closer, fascinating and terrifying her all at once. "What are you?" she breathed, mesmerized. The light fluctuated, revealing symbols and markings that spiraled down the pedestal and onto the floor, shimmering like liquid silver. Maria reached out, her fingers brushing against the cool surface. A shock of energy surged through her, momentarily blinding her with light. A voice echoed, deep and resonant, yet soothing, filling the room. "You have awakened us, child of Earth." Maria gasped and stumbled back. The pulse she had felt was now a cacophony of sound and light, and a figure formed within the glow. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, an ethereal being with limbs that shimmered and changed, merging colors in ways her mind struggled to comprehend. Who are you?" Maria stammered, her heart racing. She wasn't frightened, she was in awe. "We are the guardians of the Nexus, the balance of existence. Your curiosity has drawn us from our slumber," the being replied, voice reverberating like a distant thunderstorm, yet tinged with warmth. As she processed the words, a rush of realization surged through her. The Galactic Shopping Center, a place she thought she knew inside and out, held secrets far beyond what she could imagine. This was no ordinary custodial task, this was history unfolding right before her. "Why me?" she asked, feeling both insignificant and monumental at the same time. A fleeting moment of silence stretched between them, the glowing figure seemingly weighing her worth. "You possess a spirit that questions, the heart that seeks truth. We need such souls to help us restore the balance that has been disrupted." Maria's mind raced. Was it possible that all the cleaning she had done, the countless hours spent alone, had led her to this moment? The thought was intoxicating yet overwhelming. "Restore balance?" Maria repeated, her voice steadier now. "What does that mean?" With a wave of shimmering energy, the Guardian revealed a series of images in the air, the galaxy in turmoil, beings in distress, and a web connecting it all. The path forward is fraught with challenges, but you possess the tools necessary to tackle them, even if you do not yet know it. Before Maria could respond, the lights dimmed, and the figure began to dissolve. Your journey starts now, Maria Santos. Seek the knowledge hidden within this place, and you shall find the strength within yourself. The room darkened as the guardian vanished, leaving Maria alone with the pedestal's glow slowly fading. Her heart raced, the implications of the encounter sinking in. She stood at the threshold of an adventure that could redefine her entire existence. With newfound determination, Maria stepped back into the hallway, the mundane janitorial life she had known fading like the last remnants of twilight. She could no longer see herself simply as a cleaner. She was now the keeper of secrets, a bridge connecting worlds. Guess I've got a lot of work to do, she muttered to herself, a grin spreading across her face as she rolled her cleaning cart forward. With each sweep of her mop on the floors she knew too well, she felt the echoes of the guardian's words swirling around her, driving her into the unknown. The real cleaning was just beginning. As Maria tentatively reached out her finger toward the pedestal, the moment her skin brushed against the glowing surface, a surge of energy coursed through her body. It felt as if she had touched a live wire, sending jolts of electricity along her spine. The light brightened, illuminating the room with a radiant glow that reflected off the walls, casting eerie shadows that danced around her. Suddenly, the symbols and markings on the pedestal began to shimmer and swirl, forming a spiraling vortex of colors. Maria staggered back, her heart racing as the ground beneath her trembled. What in the universe? She gasped, feeling an overwhelming force pulling her closer to the pedestal. Then, with a deafening roar that echoed through the Galactic Shopping Center, the pedestal erupted in a blinding flash of light. Maria shielded her eyes, stumbling back against the wall as the intensity of the glow engulfed the room. When she dared to look again, she froze, her breath caught in her throat. Hovering above the pedestal was a massive figure, a being of indescribable size and grandeur. Zektar, the ancient alien father, had awakened. His skin glistened like the night sky, dotted with stars, and his eyes glowed with a deep, vibrant hue that seemed to pulse with energy. Dressed in elaborate robes that flowed like liquid silver, he radiated both power and wisdom, an aura that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" Zektar's voice boomed, resonating through the walls and vibrating in Maria's chest. The sound was both melodic and fearsome, echoing the depth of the cosmos itself. Maria stood frozen, her mind racing. She had read about ancient beings in the stories shared during lunch breaks, but never had she imagined encountering one. I am Maria Santos, she stammered, her voice barely audible against the overwhelming presence of the alien. "I clean the floors here." "I didn't mean to clean? You awakened me from centuries of rest to tell me you clean floors?" Zektar interrupted, his tone shifting from fury to curiosity. He lowered himself, his immense form becoming less intimidating as he observed her with a hint of intrigue. "What is it you seek, child of the stars?" Maria felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. "I was just curious. I heard stories about this room and I wanted to see it for myself." She took a deep breath, gathering her courage. "But I didn't expect to find you here." Zektar's eyes glimmered with understanding. "Curiosity is the spark of knowledge. Yet, the energies of the cosmos are delicate. You have awakened me, and in doing so, disrupted the balance of this place." His voice softened, revealing a depth of emotion that Maria had not anticipated. "For centuries, I have slept to maintain peace. Now, chaos stirs." Maria's heart raced as she processed his words. I didn't mean to disrupt anything. I just wanted to clean and go home." She knew she sounded foolish, but the urgency of the situation pressed upon her. "What can I do to fix this?" Zektar regarded her thoughtfully, the flicker of stars in his eyes shifting colors like a nebula. "To restore balance, you must learn the ancient ways. You must understand the energies at play within this shopping center, for they are linked to my slumber." He gestured broadly, and the symbols around the pedestal began to glow brighter, illuminating the room with an ethereal light. "You have the potential to grasp this knowledge, Maria. It is no accident that you found your way here." Maria's mind swirled with uncertainty. She wasn't a scholar, just a simple janitor. "But I don't know anything about energies or ancient ways. I just want to finish my shift and go home." Zektar leaned closer, his immense face softening. "Sometimes, the most profound truths come from the most unexpected places. You have a spirit that is resilient and curious. Embrace that. Trust it." As his words resonated within her, Maria felt a flicker of determination ignite inside her. Could she really learn from him? Could she truly help restore the balance? The thought was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. "What do I need to do?" "First, you must understand the energies that flow through this space," Zektar explained, gesturing to the glowing symbols. "Each mark contains secrets of the cosmos, waiting to be unlocked. You must focus and listen to their whispers." Maria nodded, stepping closer to the pedestal. As she reached out again, the symbols began to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat, drawing her attention deeper into the flow of energy. She felt warmth spreading through her fingers, as if the pedestal was communicating with her. "Now, close your eyes," Zektar instructed, his voice calming. "Listen to the essence of this place. Feel the energies around you." Taking a deep breath, Maria complied. She closed her eyes and concentrated, allowing her senses to heighten. The hum of the Galactic Shopping Center faded, replaced by a new sound, a soft, resonating vibration that felt alive. It filled her with a sense of connection, as if she were woven into the very fabric of the universe. Colors danced behind her eyelids, swirling and mixing, forming images of planets, stars, and distant galaxies. With each pulse, she felt a rush of knowledge flooding her mind, a cascade of ancient wisdom that began to unlock secrets she never knew existed. When she opened her eyes, she gasped. The symbols were no longer mere markings, they were alive, flowing like water, each one holding a unique story of the cosmos. "I can see them," she exclaimed, astonished. "I can see what they mean." Zektar smiled, pride shining through his cosmic aura. "You are beginning to understand. But remember, knowledge comes with responsibility. The balance of energies is fragile, and you must approach it with care." Maria nodded, determination etched on her face. "I won't let you down. I'll learn whatever it takes." The thought of facing her fears and stepping into a role far beyond her ordinary life filled her with exhilaration. She was no longer just a janitor, she was part of something much larger, a protector of cosmic balance. As she stood there, the weight of her new reality settled upon her. Maria Santos was about to embark on a journey that would change not only her life but the fate of the Galactic Shopping Center forever. But first, she had to confront the chaos that her curiosity had unleashed. "Let's begin," she said, a fierce resolve in her voice. "Together, we'll restore the balance." And thus, an unlikely partnership began, one that would intertwine their fates with the very forces of the universe itself. As Maria steadied herself against the wall, the weight of Zektar's gaze bore down on her. She could feel the intensity of his presence, like the heat of a distant star. "Okay, Maria," she whispered to herself, "you can do this." Zektar's eyes narrowed, flickering with curiosity. "You speak of cleaning, what is this? A ritual of your kind?" His voice was deep, resonating through the very fabric of the room, yet Maria sensed a hint of genuine intrigue beneath his divine authority. Well," Maria stammered, "cleaning is, making things tidy. Like sweeping, mopping, making sure everything looks nice and neat." She glanced around the room, half expecting him to judge her profession. "It's how I keep my job at the shopping center." "Tidiness is a ritual?" Zektar mused, tilting his head. "In my realm, we do not concern ourselves with such trivialities. We focus on the balance of energies, the harmony of the cosmos." He raised a hand, and the symbols floated in the air, swirling like a galaxy around them. "But you suggest there is value in this, cleaning?" Maria laughed nervously, sensing the absurdity of the situation. Here she was, a humble janitor, explaining her mundane tasks to a cosmic entity. "Well, it's kind of important. If I don't clean, things get messy, and then customers get upset. And you don't want upset customers, trust me." Zektar's brows furrowed as he processed her words. "Customers? Are they sentient beings who trade goods for services?" His tone was earnest, and Maria found herself drawn to his sincere desire to comprehend her world. "Exactly," Maria replied, her excitement growing. "In the shopping center, aliens from all over come to buy food, clothes, and, well, anything you can think of. They're just like us, except with different customs and appearances. But when they see a dirty floor, they're not happy." She gestured to the smooth tiles beneath her feet. "I mean, it's just common sense." "Sense," Zektar repeated, his tone contemplative. "A primitive understanding of your reality. Yet, I see it serves a purpose." He seemed lost in thought, and Maria seized the moment. "Yeah, and, it helps build community too," she added. "When people feel comfortable and happy in a place, they come back. It keeps everyone connected." She felt a warmth inside her, realizing she was bridging a gap between their worlds. Zektar's eyes sparkled with the light of 1,000 stars. "Connection, is this what you seek? A bond among your people?" Well, not just mine," Maria corrected. "Everyone, humans, aliens, we all need to feel connected, It's like a web. If one part gets messed up, it affects everything." "A web," Zektar repeated softly, as if tasting the concept. "Interesting. Your simplicity may yet hold the key to greater understanding." Maria felt a rush of hope. "Yeah, speaking of which, you said my awakening disrupted balance, right? What exactly is at stake here?" Zektar paused, his expression shifting as shadows danced across his face. "The disruption of my slumber has awakened not just me, but forces that have long lain dormant. On my home planet, an ancient prophecy foretells of destruction linked to my awakening. Destruction? Maria echoed, her heart pounding. What do you mean? Like, natural disasters? War? Neither, Zektar replied, his voice grave. It speaks of a cataclysm, a rift of energies unleashed upon my world. The very fabric of reality is at risk. It is said that only a soul of curiosity and resilience can restore the balance. Maria's mind raced. She was just a janitor. How could she possibly be involved in something so grand? What does that mean for me? I mean, I'm not exactly a hero. I just clean floors. Zektar leaned closer, his presence becoming overwhelming. You possess a spirit untainted by the complexities of power and ambition. Your simple desire to understand is a strength. Yet, it is not enough alone. What do you need me to do? Maria asked, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. In order to mend the rift, you must learn the ancient ways. You must grasp the energies that govern this realm and mine. Zektar gestured toward the symbols glowing around them. These are the echoes of my people's knowledge, waiting for one willing to listen. Maria swallowed hard. How am I supposed to do that? I don't even know where to start. Zektar's eyes softened. Though you are but a child of the stars, your heart has the potential to comprehend. You must open your mind to experience. You will learn through encounters, through the very people you seek to connect with. Your role as a cleaner, a caretaker, will become your greatest asset. An image flashed in Maria's mind, a vision of herself not just cleaning but mediating, connecting, helping others understand each other, both human and alien. It was daunting yet exhilarating. I have to connect with them? But what if they don't listen? What if they think I'm just a janitor? Zektar smiled, a genuine, warm expression that made her heart flutter. Sometimes, the most profound truths come from the most unexpected sources. Embrace your worth, Maria Santos. The universe does not discount simplicity. For the first time, Maria felt a spark of empowerment. Okay, I'll try. But what happens if I fail? Zektar's expression turned serious. Then my world faces destruction, and the delicate balance of the cosmos will shatter. The stakes are high, child. This is not just about you, it is a test for all who inhabit these realms. Maria nodded slowly, the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. She could feel the energy in the room shifting, the air thick with anticipation. All right, Zektar, let's do this. But first, can you tell me more about your world? What do I need to know to help you? As the otherworldly being began to share the rich history and customs of his home planet, Maria listened intently, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. The stories intertwined with her own experiences, forming a tapestry of connection that bridged the gap between two worlds. Each revelation ignited her spirit further, planting seeds of understanding that would soon blossom into a plan, one that could save Zektar's planet and transform her own reality. But as they delved deeper into the ancient tales, an unsettling thought began to creep into Maria's mind. What if the prophecies were true? What if her actions had already set the stage for a catastrophic finale? The stakes had never been higher, and Maria knew she had to act quickly. The fate of two worlds rested upon her shoulders, and she was determined to bridge the gap between them, no matter the cost. As Maria and Zektar stood in the dimly lit room of the Galactic Shopping Center, the air crackled with an unspoken tension. Maria sensed it before she saw them, a shuffling of feet, the soft murmur of voices filled with malice. Zektar's gaze shifted, his eyes narrowing as he focused on the shadows creeping closer. Zektar, Maria whispered, her heart racing. I think we're not alone. The figure of Zektar straightened, his presence expanding as he spoke. Instincts guide you well, Maria. They approach with intent. Before Maria could fully comprehend what that meant, a group of alien figures emerged from the darkness. They were tall, with elongated limbs and skin that shimmered like oil on water. Their eyes glowed with an eerie intensity, and as they moved closer, Maria felt an uneasy chill sweep over her. Behold, the one who dares disturb our order, the leader hissed, his voice a guttural growl that echoed eerily in the empty space. Zektar, the Fallen. Your return spells chaos, and we will not allow it. Followers of the Order of Kale, Zektar stated, his voice firm yet calm. You've come to threaten me, yet it is you who fear the change I bring. Maria glanced at Zektar, her heart hammering in her chest. What do they want? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. They believe my awakening will disrupt their power, Zektar explained. They follow a rival deity who thrives on control and order. In their eyes, I am an agent of chaos. Maria felt a surge of bravery course through her. We can't let them just walk all over us. We have to do something. Zektar's expression softened slightly, and for a moment, she could see the flicker of appreciation in his eyes. You possess a spirit of resilience, Maria. But these beings are not to be underestimated. Their fear breeds desperation, and desperation can lead to violence. The leader of the hostile aliens stepped forward, his gaze piercing as he focused on Maria. You stand beside a fallen god, human. You should know your place. This is not your fight. Maybe not, Maria replied, surprising herself with her own boldness. But I won't let you harm him. You have no idea what you're dealing with. The leader laughed, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. And what do you intend to do, janitor? Sweep us away with your broom? Actually, Maria retorted, I'm better at cleaning up messes than you think. She could feel Zektar's presence behind her, a steadying force that bolstered her resolve. We can work together, Maria proposed, her voice steadying. You don't have to follow your leader blindly. Chaos doesn't have to mean destruction. Maybe this could be a chance to change. The aliens exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. The leader sneered, but Maria noticed the hesitation. You think your words hold power? You are but a speck in the vastness of the cosmos. Maybe so, Maria said, taking a step forward. But I believe in connection. You can choose to hold on to fear, or you can choose to listen. What do you want, really? Zektar watched her with an intensity that made her heart race. Your courage is commendable, he said softly. But be wary, they are driven by fear. Their actions may be unpredictable. Maria is right, one of the other aliens spoke up, a softer voice contrasting the harshness of their leader. Perhaps we can consider an alternative before we resort to violence. The leader's face twisted in anger. You dare question me? We must eliminate the threat. Maria held her breath, feeling the tension in the room thicken. If you want to eliminate a threat, maybe you should consider that coming together could create something stronger than chaos. You're afraid of losing control, but it doesn't have to be like that. You think you can change our minds? The leader spat, stepping closer to her. You think your human understanding of cleaning can fix what's ancient and complex? Not fix, Maria corrected, but transform. Just like cleaning a floor takes effort and humility, so does building a better future. You don't have to cling to the past. Zektar's eyes glimmered with approval, and she could feel the energy shift in the room. The leader hesitated, glancing back at his followers, who seemed to be weighing their options. This is foolishness, he declared, but there was less conviction behind the words. Is it, though? Maria pressed on. What do you fear more, Zektar's return or the chance to build something new? The silence that followed was thick, the air heavy with uncertainty. Zektar took a step forward, his presence commanding yet protective. Perhaps it is time for you to re-evaluate your beliefs, he said, his voice echoing with authority. Chaos need not be our end. It can be a new beginning. The leader's defiance flickered, replaced by doubt. You would have us abandon everything we know? To trust a janitor and a fallen god? Not just trust, Maria insisted, her voice stronger now. To work together. To clean up this mess of fear and hatred, just like I do every day in the shopping center. Together, we can create order. Zektar turned to Maria, admiration shining in his gaze. You have shown me the power of unity, even in the face of hostility. But the leader of the aliens scoffed. Why would we trust you? You are nothing but a mere human. Then consider this, Maria said, her heart pounding. If you eliminate Zektar, what will you have left? Only more chaos, more pain. You've seen it in your own lives. I may be a janitor, but I clean up after the messes, after the fights. Trust me when I say, this is no way to live. A moment of silence passed, and Maria held her breath, praying for understanding. The leader remained still, his eyes narrowing in thought. You are bold, perhaps too bold. Or maybe just honest, Maria replied, her heart racing. We can find a way to coexist. It starts with a conversation, not a conflict. As the weight of her words hung in the air, Zektar's presence solidified behind her, forming a united front. The hostile aliens exchanged glances, uncertainty mingling with curiosity. Let us talk, the quieter alien finally said, breaking the tension with a cautious tone. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words. Maria felt a rush of relief, but she knew this was just the beginning. Great, but we need to keep our identities hidden for now, she said, glancing nervously at Zektar. I don't want any of you to get hurt. Zektar nodded, and together they formulated a plan, a delicate balance of trust and caution. As the conversation unfolded, Maria realized that their fates were intertwined. In this moment, she was more than just a janitor, she was a bridge between worlds, a catalyst for change. And as they prepared for the journey ahead, Maria felt a spark of hope ignite within her. She knew they had a long way to go, but perhaps, just perhaps, they could clean up the chaos together. As the tension in the room thickened like fog, Maria felt a surge of determination. Behind her, Zektar remained a steady presence, his silent strength bolstering her confidence. The hostile aliens had drawn closer, their menacing forms casting elongated shadows that danced across the cold floor. Fine, she thought, her mind racing as she scanned the area. If they underestimate me, maybe I can turn this to my advantage. Maria quickly surveyed the tools she had in her cleaning cart, each one a weapon in their own right. Broom, mop, cleaning solution, she muttered under her breath, formulating a plan. Let's see how well they handle a little tidiness. Your fight is futile, human, the leader spat, his voice dripping with disdain. Maria's heart raced, but she stood her ground. You might think so, but I'm just getting started. With a flick of her wrist, she grabbed them up, the long handle feeling unexpectedly sturdy in her grip. You want chaos? How about a little disruptive cleaning? Before the aliens could react, Maria began to move. She swept the mop across the ground, using the fluid motion to create a makeshift barrier of cleaning fluid. It splattered against the floor, forming a slick, shiny layer. The aliens watched, confusion etched on their faces as she continued her improvised choreography. Maria, what are you doing? Zektar asked, his voice low yet laced with urgency. Trust me, she replied, her eyes gleaming with mischief. She reached for her broom next, using it to sweep up the cleaning fluid into a swirling vortex. I may not be a warrior, but I know how to create a distraction. As she spun around, she noticed the aliens' hesitation. They had expected a meek janitor, not a whirlwind of cleaning prowess. Maria's movements were fluid, almost dance-like, as she created a slippery path across the floor. She could see the aliens beginning to assess their footing, the leader's confidence wavering. Prepare for battle, the leader shouted, but it was too late. As one of the aliens lunged forward, his foot slipped on the slick surface, sending him crashing to the ground with a resounding thud. The others gasped, eyes wide, momentarily distracted by their comrade's misstep. Now! Maria shouted, motioning for Zektar to follow her lead. They both darted to the side, using the moment of chaos to their advantage. Maria grabbed the cleaning solution sprayer, aiming it like a blaster. She sprayed a fine mist of fluid toward the aliens, creating a shimmering barrier that reflected the dim lights of the room. Your tricks will not save you, the leader roared, but there was a tremor in his voice now, a crack in his bravado. No? Let's see how you handle this, Maria shouted back, her confidence surging. She darted forward, using the broom to sweep out another alien's legs, sending him sprawling next to his fallen companion. As the chaos erupted, Zektar stepped in with a newfound vigor, channeling his energy into the atmosphere. Together, we can overcome them, he urged, and Maria felt the pulse of power resonate through her. The remaining aliens regrouped, their expressions shifting from confusion to fury. We will not be defeated by a mere human, one of them hissed. The leader's eyes blazed, and he motioned for the others to attack. Maria felt a rush of adrenaline as she prepared for the oncoming charge. Zektar, we need to use our surroundings, she called out, glancing around the room. Agreed, he responded, a fierce determination igniting in his gaze. Redirect them toward the entrance. With quick thinking, Maria set another trap. She positioned her cart at an angle, the wheels turned slightly to create an obstacle. Zektar surged forward, using his powers to generate a barrier of energy that drew the aliens' attention. As they charged, Maria unleashed a torrent of cleaning solution across the floor, and as expected, the leader slipped, crashing into the mop cart, sending it flying. The others followed suit, their attempts to navigate the slippery surface resulting in a chaotic pileup. Now's our chance, Maria shouted, feeling the rush of victory coursing through her. With Zektar at her side, they pressed forward, using the moment to their advantage. But as they moved in for the final confrontation, Maria realized the leader was scrambling to his feet, fury etched across his features. You think this is over? The Order of Kale will not accept failure. Then maybe you should learn to clean up your own mess, Maria quipped, her confidence unwavering. But as she watched the leader regain his footing, she felt a flicker of doubt. The aliens were regrouping, their resolve hardening. Zektar, we need to be ready for a counterattack, she warned, her heart pounding as she positioned herself defensively. We must use their anger against them, Zektar replied, his eyes focused intently on the leader. They are blinded by their fear, let us channel that into our advantage. Maria nodded, determination flooding her. As the group of aliens steadied themselves, she prepared, her mind racing with possibilities. It's time to show them that chaos can be transformed. In that moment, they both understood that their connection had grown deeper, the trust between them forged in the fires of adversity. As the aliens charged once more, Maria and Zektar stood ready, united in their fight against the chaos that threatened to engulf them. The stakes had never been higher, but Maria could feel it, the power of her simple job, the strength of her spirit, and the bond she had forged with a fallen god. Together, they would turn the tide and face whatever came next. As the aliens lunged, she took a deep breath, preparing for the onslaught, knowing that they were not just fighting for themselves but for a chance to transform fear into hope. As the last alien stumbled, Maria's heart raced with an electrifying mixture of fear and exhilaration. But amidst the chaos, she knew they couldn't linger. Zektar, now, she shouted, urgency propelling her words like a battle cry. The moment was fleeting. She could feel the tension shifting again, the remaining aliens regrouping, their eyes now filled with a fierce determination. Zektar nodded. Follow me. His voice was a beacon, pulling her through the tumultuous scene. They darted towards a nearby corridor, the fluorescent lights flickering ominously overhead. Maria's mind raced, adrenaline coursing through her veins like a firestorm. The shopping center was vast, and she had to think fast. As they ran, Maria's eyes caught glimpses of the alien marketplace stalls filled with odd trinkets and glowing artifacts. She felt a pang of regret. She had always thought of this place as a sanctuary, filled with the wonders of different worlds. Now, it felt more like a labyrinth of danger. "Where are we going?" she asked breathlessly, glancing over her shoulder. "There are hidden passages deeper in the center," Zektar explained, his pace unyielding. "They lead to ancient technology that can aid us." Maria's heart skipped. Ancient technology? What could it possibly do? But there was no time to ponder, they had to escape. Just as they rounded the corner, the sound of pounding footsteps echoed behind them. The aliens had regrouped, their shouts reverberating through the air. "We will find you," the leader's voice boomed, filled with an unyielding fury. Maria shivered, urgency igniting her resolve. "Here!" Zektar suddenly skidded to a halt in front of a large, ornate door that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Maria's eyes widened at the alien symbols etched into the surface, glowing softly in the dim light. "I need your help to open it," he said, his expression earnest. Without hesitation, Maria stepped forward, her cleaning cart forgotten for the moment. "What do I do?" she asked, her fingers brushing against the cool metal. The door felt alive, thrumming under her touch. "Place your hand here." Zektar pointed to a specific symbol that glimmered in a way that reminded her of the energy she had felt before. "It requires a human touch to activate it." With a deep breath, Maria pressed her palm against the symbol. A surge of warmth flooded through her, and the symbols began to illuminate one by one. The door shook and trembled as if awakening from a long slumber. "Keep your hand there," Zektar urged, glancing nervously over his shoulder. Maria could feel the energy coursing through her, mingling with the echoes of her heartbeat. Images flashed in her mind, visions of the ancient technology and the power it held. She opened her mind to it, allowing herself to connect with whatever lay beyond the door. The grinding of the door echoed in the silence, and slowly, it began to part, revealing a dark corridor lined with flickering lights. "We need to go," Zektar urged, pushing Maria gently forward. They slipped inside just as the alien leader's voice boomed again, desperate and enraged. "Do not let them escape." As they moved deeper into the corridor, Maria felt the weight of the world pressing down on her shoulders. "What if they catch us?" she whispered, fear creeping back into her heart. "They won't," Zektar replied, his voice steady, but Maria could sense the underlying tension. "This path leads to the core of the center, where my technology resides. We just need to reach it before they do." "What kind of technology?" Maria asked, her curiosity piqued even in the face of danger. "Technology that can harness energy from the very fabric of the universe," he explained, urgency lacing his words. "It can be used as a weapon or a shield, depending on our needs." Maria nodded, her mind racing. She was no longer just a janitor, she was part of something much larger. "Let's not waste time then," she said, moving faster. Each step was a blend of determination and fear, but she was resolute. As they navigated the twisting, narrow passages, Maria noticed strange artifacts lining the walls, devices that pulsed with energy and glowed in the dim light. "What are these?" she asked, reaching out to touch a small, crystalline object that shimmered like a star. "Those are remnants of ancient technology," Zektar said, his voice tinged with awe. "They hold incredible power, but they are dormant without the right energy source." Maria pulled her hand back, suddenly aware of the immense potential that surrounded them. "We need to hurry, then. Those aliens aren't far behind." Just as they rounded another corner, the corridor opened into a vast chamber. Maria's breath caught in her throat as she took in the sight before her. The room was filled with towering machines, intricate devices humming with energy, their designs both bewildering and beautiful. In the center stood a massive obelisk-like structure, pulsating with a vibrant blue light. "That's it," Zektar exclaimed, pointing toward it. "That is the heart of my people's technology. If we can activate it, we can use it to defend ourselves." Maria hesitated, the enormity of the moment settling over her. "How do we activate it?" she asked, glancing back toward the darkened corridor, anxiety gnawing at her. "Together," Zektar replied, urgency in his eyes. "We must channel our energy into it, but we need to be quick. The aliens will follow." Maria nodded, steeling herself for what was to come. She had come too far to back down now. "Let's do this," she said, determination surging within her. As they approached the obelisk, she felt the energy radiating from it, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Maria took a deep breath, focusing on the connection between her and Zektar. "Let's show them what we can do," she said, her voice strong. As they reached out to the obelisk, the world around them faded into a blur, leaving only the pulsing energy of the ancient technology. With a shared intent, they began to channel their strength into the core, igniting a fierce light that filled the chamber. Behind them, the aliens charged into the room, their eyes wide with disbelief. "What are you doing?" the leader screamed, his voice a mix of rage and fear. Maria and Zektar shared one last glance, an unspoken understanding passing between them. They would fight together, united in purpose. And as the energy surged, they would either emerge victorious or face the consequences together. The battle for survival had just begun. As they ventured deeper into the corridor, a low hum resonated against the walls, vibrating through Maria's bones. The flickering lights overhead cast an eerie glow, illuminating the strange symbols that adorned the corridor. Each step brought a sense of purpose, yet anxiety gnawed at her insides. "What if the aliens catch us?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. Zektar glanced back at her, determination etched on his features. "They won't. Not if we activate the defense system quickly." His words were resolute, but Maria detected an undercurrent of fear in his tone. It was a fear she shared. As they rounded a corner, they arrived at a large room, its architecture a blend of organic curves and sharp angles that seemed to breathe with life. In the center stood a massive console, pulsating with energy like the heart of a sleeping beast. "This is it," Zektar said, his voice barely above a whisper, reverence filling his tone. "We need to access the control panel to initiate the defense system." Maria stared at the console, the surface shimmering with liquid light. "How do we even use it?" she asked, glancing at the myriad of buttons and holographic displays, each depicting alien symbols that swirled and danced. Zektar stepped closer, his fingers brushing against the console. "It requires a human and an alien presence to function. Your energy will help synchronize it." He looked at her, his eyes intense. "We need to connect, Maria. You have to trust me." "Yes, but..." Maria hesitated, the weight of the situation pressing on her shoulders. "What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not strong enough?" Zektar took a deep breath, his gaze softening. "You are stronger than you think. Your intuition, your courage, those are your greatest strengths. Together, we can awaken this system." With a nod, Maria stepped forward, her heart pounding. She placed her hand on the console beside Zektar's, feeling the warmth radiating from the interface. "What do I do?" she asked, her voice steadying. "Concentrate on the energy, feel it connect with you," Zektar instructed. "Embrace it." As she closed her eyes, images flooded her mind, visions of the shopping center, laughter echoing through the halls, the vibrant colors of alien life, and the warmth of friendships forged amidst the chaos. The energy from the console pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, and she surrendered herself to the moment. "Now, think of unity," Zektar urged, his voice a grounding force. "We are in this together. You and I, different yet aligned." Maria took a deep breath, envisioning herself and Zektar as two sides of the same coin. She felt a surge of warmth, a connection blossoming between them that transcended their differences. As the energy intensified, the symbols on the console began to glow brighter, illuminating the room in a cascade of colors. Suddenly, an alarm blared, startling Maria. "They've found us!" Zektar shouted, urgency flooding his voice. "We have to hurry." With renewed determination, Maria focused her thoughts on the console. "What do I do next?" she asked, panic creeping in. "Press the symbol that looks like an upward spiral," Zektar directed, pointing urgently. "It represents protection." Her fingers flew across the panel, locating the symbol and pressing it. The moment her palm connected, a blinding light erupted from the console, enveloping them in a cocoon of energy. Maria gasped, feeling the power coursing through her veins, igniting every nerve with electricity. As the light expanded, a wave of force surged outward from the console, crashing against the walls like a tidal wave. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and Maria felt both exhilarated and terrified. "Now, focus on the aliens." Zektar shouted over the dinge channel the energy toward them. Maria concentrated, envisioning the swirling mass of alien invaders outside the room. Her heart raced as she imagined the energy piercing through the darkness, forming a shield around Zektar and herself. "I can feel it," she exclaimed, the sensation intoxicating. The blaring alarm shifted to a resonant hum, vibrating with the energy they were channeling. Suddenly, a forceful wave surged from the console, shooting through the corridor and out into the shopping center. Maria could almost see the energy ripple outward, a shimmering barrier forming between her and the approaching aliens. The corridor shook with the intensity of the blast, and Maria opened her eyes just in time to see the aliens screeching in confusion, their advanced weaponry sputtering uselessly against the barrier. "It's working!" Zektar shouted, his eyes alight with hope. "They can't penetrate it." But just as Maria began to feel a sense of triumph, the console flickered, the light dimming momentarily. "No, stay with us," she urged, pressing her hand harder against the surface, willing it to stay strong. "You have to believe in yourself, Maria," Zektar encouraged, stepping closer. "This is your moment. You are part of the prophecy. Together, we can unite our worlds." Her eyes widened at his words. "The prophecy?" she asked, disbelief mingling with excitement. "Yes. Zektar's voice rose with urgency. It spoke of a human who would awaken the ancient defense, bridging our two worlds in times of peril. You were meant for this. The weight of his words enveloped her, fueling her resolve. Maria felt a surge of energy, more potent than before, but it was different this time. It felt personal, as if the universe itself was rallying around her. I can do this, she declared, her voice unwavering. She drew on every experience, every moment of fear and strength she had ever felt, channeling it into the console. The lights surged back to life, illuminating the room with radiant energy. The aliens outside roared, but their voices were drowned out by the hum of the console, now a beacon of power. Maria and Zektar stood united, a shield against the chaos. As the energy intensified, Zektar's hand found hers, their fingers entwined. Together, he said, looking into her eyes, we'll finish this. With a final push, Maria focused all her strength into one last command. The barrier exploded outward, a dazzling wave of light that surged through the shopping center. The aliens were thrown back, their forms dissipating like shadows at dawn. In that moment, Maria understood. This was not just a battle, it was the beginning of a new alliance, one that would change everything. Let's confront the leader, she said, determination coursing through her. We have to end this once and for all. Zektar nodded, his expression filled with admiration. You are no longer just a janitor, Maria. You are a warrior. Together, they stepped forward, ready to face whatever awaited them in the final confrontation, their resolve unbreakable, their bond stronger than ever. As the blinding light from the console flickered, Maria felt her heart race. The energy enveloping them pulsed with urgency. Zektar, she shouted, what's happening? I can feel something building. We're unlocking the defense system, but we have to hurry. Zektar replied, his voice steady, yet charged with urgency. The aliens outside won't wait for us to figure this out. Maria's focus shifted as she sensed the weight of their situation pressing down on them. The console before her began to display a series of images, flickering like the pages of an ancient book. One image captured her attention, a towering figure, draped in dark armor, wielding a weapon that crackled with ominous energy. Is that the alien leader? She asked, dread knotting her stomach. Yes, that's Threx, Zektar confirmed, his voice barely above a whisper. He possesses a weapon that could destroy the entire shopping center in seconds. We must stop him before he activates it. The realization hit Maria like a cold wave. The stakes had escalated from mere survival to the defense of countless lives. But how do we stop him? We barely know how to operate this console. Zektar's gaze turned resolute. We have a chance. The defense system is more than just a weapon, it's a shield. If we can activate it properly, we can create a barrier around the shopping center. It will protect us from Threx's attack but will require both of our energies to function at full capacity. Maria nodded, her fear transformed into determination. Then let's do it. I'm ready. With that, Zektar returned his attention to the console, directing her to focus on the swirling symbols. We need to synchronize our thoughts. Picture Threx and the destruction he threatens. Channel that energy into the system. Maria closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. The hum of the console resonated with her heartbeat, and she envisioned the chaos that would ensue if they failed. She pictured the vibrant shopping center, filled with laughter and life, and then the devastation that could come at the hands of Threx. Now, Zektar urged, his voice a guiding light in the storm of emotions swirling within her. Press the symbol that resembles a shield. It's the key to activating the defense barrier. Maria opened her eyes, searching through the array of alien symbols. Her finger found the shield and pressed down with conviction. Instantly, a wave of energy surged through the console, rippling outward like a shockwave. Zektar joined her, his hands dancing over the controls, each press synchronized perfectly with hers. Suddenly, the room erupted in a cacophony of sound as alarms blared. The console projected a holographic map of the shopping center, highlighting the alien intruders advancing toward their location. They're coming for us, Zektar shouted, urgency radiating from him. Maria bit her lip, fighting back the panic rising within her. What do we do? Can we hold them off? Zektar's eyes narrowed, determination igniting within him. We need to buy time. Let's focus on activating the shield. It has to be strong enough to hold them back until we can confront Threx. With a shared look of understanding, they both focused their energies, pouring their resolve into the console. The symbols began to glow brighter, swirling and intertwining like a dance of light. It's working, Maria exclaimed, the sensation of power surging through her like electricity. But then, abruptly, the console flickered and dimmed. No, no, no. Zektar's voice cracked with urgency. It's losing power. We must stabilize it. Channel everything we have. Maria pushed, her mind racing. We can't let it fail. She felt the warmth of Zektar's presence beside her, their energies intertwining seamlessly. Suddenly, the realization struck her that they were stronger together, their differences complementing each other in ways they never anticipated. As they focused, Maria felt an overwhelming surge of strength. Her humble background as a cleaner became her greatest asset. The resilience, the creativity she had honed in her everyday life, this was the moment it would shine. Think of our people, Zektar. Think of the lives we can save, she cried, channeling her memories of the shopping center, of laughter and warmth, of community and friendship. Zektar nodded, his resolve matching her own. They pushed harder, their minds in sync, until a flash of brilliance illuminated the room. The console erupted with energy, forming a protective barrier around the shopping center. Now, Zektar shouted, we need to confront Threx directly. I'll create a distraction, and you take him down from behind. Maria blinked, surprised by the sudden shift. But what if, there's no time? Trust in what we've created, Zektar urged, determination shining in his eyes. With a deep breath, Maria accepted the weight of responsibility. They were in this together, and she wouldn't let fear dictate her actions anymore. As Zektar sprinted toward the entrance, Maria followed closely. The atmosphere was thick with tension and anticipation. They burst through the door, only to find a chaotic scene outside. Alien soldiers were mobilizing, their weapons glinting ominously in the dim light. And there, at the forefront, stood Threx, his presence dark and commanding. Foolish creatures, Threx roared, his voice echoing through the corridor. You think you can oppose me? I will obliterate this place. Maria's heart raced, fear mixing with adrenaline. She could see the weapon strapped to his arm, crackling with destructive energy. This was it, this was their moment. Zektar, she shouted, her voice carrying over the chaos. Now! With a swift movement, Zektar charged forward, drawing the attention of Threx. As the alien leader turned, Maria took her chance, slipping through the shadows. She could feel the energy from the console resonating within her, guiding her every move. As she approached Thrax, she recalled Zektar's teachings. In that moment, she was more than just Maria the cleaner, she was a warrior. With a fierce cry, she lunged toward the alien leader, aiming to disarm him. The air crackled as she engaged him, her instincts kicking in. The battle of wills began, and Maria felt every ounce of her strength surge forward. And as they clashed, it became clear that this confrontation was not just about defeating Threx, it was about embracing her destiny. She had risen from the mundane to the extraordinary, proving that even the most ordinary among them could create profound change. The outcome of this battle would determine the fate of the Galactic Shopping Center and perhaps even beyond. With a surge of hope and determination, Maria prepared for the fight of her life. As the energy from the console surged, Maria felt the very essence of her being intertwining with Zektar's. The flicker of lights intensified, and she could sense the impending chaos outside their sanctuary. The aliens were advancing, their intentions clear and lethal. We have to focus, Zektar urged, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. Picture the shield, Maria. Picture it strong and impenetrable. Maria closed her eyes again, letting the energy flow through her. She envisioned the vibrant life of the Galactic Shopping Center, children laughing, families sharing meals, the atmosphere buzzing with joy. But then, she imagined the destruction that Threx would bring if they failed. A shiver ran down her spine as the image of devastation settled in her mind. I can't let that happen, she whispered, her resolve hardening. Now! Zektar shouted, snapping her back to the moment. Together, they pressed down on the glowing symbols, their combined energies harmonizing like a perfect melody. The console responded, its lights pulsating with their determination, cascading waves of power that filled the room. Suddenly, the alarms blared louder, and the holographic map swirled with frantic red dots, indicating the alien intruders closing in. Maria's heart raced. They're almost here, she exclaimed, panic creeping into her voice. Stay calm. We need to stabilize the shield. Zektar's voice remained steady, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. We can do this together. Our energies are stronger when united. Maria nodded, pouring every ounce of her will into the console. The symbols began to glow brighter, illuminating their faces in an ethereal light. She could feel the console resonating with her heartbeat, syncing their emotions in a way she had never experienced before. Zektar's presence beside her was a constant reminder that she was not alone in this fight. As they continued to channel their energy, the console began to stabilize. The flickering lights steadied, and a soft hum filled the air, bringing a sense of calm amidst the storm. Yes, keep going, Zektar encouraged, his eyes shining with determination. We're almost there. Maria focused on the shield, picturing it enveloping the entire shopping center, a protective barrier that would keep the chaos at bay. With every pulse of energy, she felt the connection between her and Zektar deepen, their differences melting away in the face of a common goal. Suddenly, the room shook, a violent tremor that rattled the walls. They're attacking, Zektar shouted, his voice rising above the din. We need to activate the shield now. Maria's heart pounded in her chest. I'm ready. On 3, we push together. She counted down, her voice steadying as they prepared for the final push. 1, 2, 3. With a synchronized motion, they pressed down on the shield symbol. A blinding light erupted from the console, and a wave of energy surged forth, enveloping the entire shopping center in a shimmering barrier. The cacophony of alien voices outside suddenly ceased, replaced by an eerie silence. Maria and Zektar shared a breathless moment, their eyes wide with disbelief. "We did it!" Maria exclaimed, a smile breaking across her face. "We actually did it!" A holographic display flickered, showing the aliens outside, now trapped against the barrier. "They can't get through." Zektar marveled, his relief palpable. "We've bought ourselves some time." But as the moment of triumph washed over them, Maria felt a pang of concern. "What happens next? We can't just leave them out there. They'll find a way to break through." Zektar's expression turned serious. "We need to negotiate. I believe we can find a way to coexist. If we can get through to Threx, perhaps we can reach an understanding." Maria nodded, the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "But how do we approach him? He won't listen to a janitor and an alien." Zektar smiled, a spark of hope igniting in his eyes. "You underestimate the power of collaboration, Maria. Your perspective, your humanity, is a strength. We can show them that there's a better way than violence." Together, they stepped towards the console, Zektar guiding her fingers to initiate a communication link with Threx. As the screen flickered to life, Maria felt a surge of anxiety mixed with determination. This was their chance to change the narrative. The image of Threx materialized on the screen, his imposing figure casting a long shadow. "You think you can stop me?" His voice was low and menacing, sending a chill down Maria's spine. "We don't want to fight," Maria said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "We want to understand. Your people and ours can coexist. We can build something better together." Threx's eyes narrowed, skepticism etched on his face. "Why should I listen to you, human?" "Because I'm not just a janitor," Maria replied, her voice rising with conviction. "I've seen the power of teamwork. I've fought alongside Zektar, and we've created something amazing together. We can help each other instead of tearing each other apart." A moment of silence hung in the air, the tension thick as Threx considered her words. "You dare to speak for your kind," he finally replied, his tone softening slightly. "I do," Maria said, her heart racing. "And I believe we can come to an agreement. Let's talk." Zektar placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We can show you what we've built here. We can demonstrate that cooperation is stronger than conflict." The screen flickered as Threx contemplated their offer. "Very well, human. I will hear you out." The barrier shimmered slightly as the tension outside began to dissipate. Maria and Zektar exchanged a hopeful glance. The battle was far from over, but they had taken the first step toward peace. As they prepared to meet Threx in person, Maria felt the weight of her journey settle within her. She had transformed from a simple janitor into a beacon of hope, a bridge between worlds. Together with Zektar, she was ready to protect both of their homes. Standing at the edge of the shimmering barrier, Maria looked up at the stars twinkling above the shopping center. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together," she said, determination resonating in her voice. Zektar nodded, his expression filled with pride. "Together, indeed." With a final glance at the stars, they stepped forward, ready to forge a new path, one where humanity and alienkind could thrive side by side. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it felt full of promise.